Hello, everybody. It's Everalt04 for the weekly update. A few things today. First off, we'll see about videos. I'm not ready to start the next Let's Play yet, and I'm sorry that it really has been a long time. I'm just working on other things now, man. Got school and stuff going. It's just work. It's work, and I have a lot of doctor's appointments this week, and I'm sorry. But I'm going to try to get it streaming sometime this week. Maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. We'll see. I really want to try Dave the Diver. As for other things, the MagFest vlog went up last week. I got sick. I'm still working on a cold, but I got sick over last weekend and over the course of last week. So I've had a cold that I'm assuming is the con crud, but I didn't have a fever or anything, so it doesn't seem to be what like everyone else got. So I don't know, but that's also one of the reasons why I don't want to do the talky thing, because my throat is still messed up. As for other things, I drew a art for Year of the Snake / Rosa John's birthday. That's on Blue Sky and Twitter if you want to check it out. And did I do it? I finished the Somnium Files Nirvana initiative finally after a year. Very, very good. Crazy twists at the end, as always. I really hope that they make more Somnium Files games. It's just fun characters. I like them a lot, and I like the style. And I started playing Omori because that's, the same thing, basically. Like 6 hours in. I'm only starting to get to some of the psychological horror parts. Mostly it's just been, like, really cute, which scares me. Because I know that this game has a reputation. So, so far Omori's been good, though. Rockin' soundtrack. I love the art style too. Also, the pastel colors and all the drawn stuff. So I just finished the 3 days left or whatever chapter. Let's see. Anything else that I did this weekend? Not really. Okay. One thing, I guess that I'll just I'll talk about for the video here is that because of politics, there's been a lot of discourse online about trans people, transgender people, and trans rights and things like that. And so, to start off, trans rights are human rights. Trans people are people. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. You don't get to decide for someone else what they are or who they are. So that's to start that. But just like some thoughts that I had that aren't like new ideas, but just maybe you'll think about them differently, is that, like, in my counseling classes, one difference that counselors and therapists have in interacting with trans people is that a lot of the time they encounter trans people a lot earlier on their journey, before they're out or anything like that. And they're still trying to figure themselves out. And it's just very different in terms of how to process everything, because the person is usually still in the process of processing themselves, of figuring themselves out. And when you see someone who comes out online, it is 99.99% of the time after a very long journey, personal journey that you didn't witness. And I think that a lot of the friction that comes from that from other people is the sudden change. How could you do this all of a sudden? This is so sudden, this is so different. And the answer is it's not. It never is. All of these, anytime there's like something like this, whether it's a trans person or a person coming out as gay, bisexual, whatever, lesbian, all of the everything, anything. it's after a lot of personal journey time, and you don't see that, and you're not part of it. And I think a lot of people are kind of upset that they weren't part of it, that this is so sudden, that they weren't a leading figure in deciding the other person's life, because everybody wants to be part of that, right? And especially if you're somebody who likes control. But the sudden change hurts the other person, because I'm just going to use the trans person as an example, but it's all of the cases. A trans person has accepted themselves and has had the time to process it, and the other person is now left behind, basically. And this isn't an excuse for, people's behavior at rejecting other people, trans people's choices or whatever, but this is kind of an explanation of what goes on in the head, aside from all of the political and religious garbage that, adds to it. But just the immediate effect is, this is so different for me. This is so sudden for me, and they're hurt because of that. And I'm not saying that this is any obligation on the trans person to explain or try to do anything. They've already gone through what they need to do. But just an idea of, like, when you see someone coming out online, I'm talking to the other people, not to the trans person, but when you see someone come out online, I'm not talking about myself, but when you see someone come out online, and you feel that shock, it's normal, because you are just starting on this journey that the person has been on for a very long time. But you have to just think about it in terms of the idea that this isn't where it began. This isn't the beginning. You're coming in to the show late. And one question is, if you know this person, why were you not invited in earlier? And I think that's also another thing that people get upset about. Why didn't you tell me earlier? And you kind of have to think, why didn't they tell me earlier? And the answer is probably because they didn't feel safe. And that also sucks to think about. And again, no blame on the trans person, because you do what you need to do to be safe. Like, absolutely, 100%. I'm talking to everyone else. And you just have to think about it. And it hurts. It hurts to consider, like, why am I not safe enough for this person? And, obviously I know what's best for them, but the answer usually is, are you? So in life, the whole point of this is that in life we kind of have to just think about, like, the decisions that other people make that are different to us. Is that our business? The answer is usually no. B, where am I in this person's journey? Is it really so sudden, or am I just coming in late? And, do I just need a little time to adjust to it, as opposed to lashing out against it? I need to basically take some time to process it yourself before you do anything stupid. And see, why are you coming in so late? What have you done in this person's life that they felt that this was the time for you to come in? Assuming, again, that this is someone that you consider yourself close to, or a relative, or whatever, as opposed to, an internet celebrity, or just somebody that you know tangentially that wouldn't confide in you. But just ask yourself, in general, not necessarily in terms of trans people or coming out or anything, but do I make myself safe to the people around me? And the answer is difficult to come to, because you really have to think, and you have to have an unbiased look, and maybe you have to even ask your friends, like, would you feel safe telling me a secret like this that could destroy my life if it came out at the wrong time? And not a lot of people are in the position to say that, yeah, I'm safe there. I think this is, like, even though, like, I've had personally, like, a bunch of people, talk to me about, like, their own personal journeys in life. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that would absolutely not be comfortable talking to me, and that's fine, because, like, even people I consider friends and close to, like, I'm perfectly fine with that, because they get to choose who they think is a safe person to talk to about this, or an interesting person to talk to about this, or a person that can actually help them. So yeah, so it's a lot of long-winded talk to basically say, like, what you see online or in real life, not necessarily online, but since we're online, I'm using that as the example of people coming to a realization about themselves. It's 99.99% of the time, almost always, a result of a very long personal journey. And before you try to question of, are you really? You have to acknowledge and accept that they have spent a long time on this. And you know what the crazy thing is? Even a person coming out online isn't the end of their journey, or coming out in their daily life or whatever. It's not the end of their journey. The coming out is another step, because a person's life keeps going and keeps changing, and a person may decide that they don't actually think they're a girl. They don't. They're more like agender, or maybe they really are a man, or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that that's everybody's journey, but the path never stops. And it's not like when a person comes to a decision and they're like, this is what's right for me right now, and then like a year later they're like, actually, I'm this. And that's cool. They're not like being disingenuous from their past position, because that was the truth at the time. Like, everybody changes. That's cool. That's life. So basically what I'm saying is, like, just be chill. Just kind of let people, like, understand that people are in charge of their lives, and do put thought behind decisions like this, at least when they choose to be public about it. Because, like, it's very different, and this is wildly different, a different case, but, like, you start college, right? And you're like, you're Dovey, right? And you start college, and everyone tells you, oh, you're so good at computers, you're going to be a great computer major. And you're like, yeah, I'm a computer major, I know that I'll be a computer science person. And then you try out the computer science and you suck at it, and it makes you so sad and unhappy, and you're just terrible at it, and you get depressed. And then you say, you know what? Let's dabble a little bit in psychology. And you're like, oh my gosh, psychology just clicks for me. Like, this is really good. I love it. Like, it makes me feel happy. It gives me purpose in life. And then you do more psychology, and you're like, wow, this is really good. And then you graduate, and then you go into master's program for counseling, and you're like, wow, this isn't only, like, really good, I'm loving this, and I'm doing really well at it, and now I'm so much happier than I was before. So, like, you can change your major. And you know what? It's an allegory. Surprise. And again, I'm not talking about myself. I am currently, as far as I know, a cisgender male. But, like, it's the same thing. Like, you're going in one thing, and everyone tells you you're one thing in life, and you're like, okay, I guess I have to be the one thing. And you're like, this sucks. This makes me so depressed. This is awful. And then you're like, maybe let's, dabble a little bit in this. and you're like, oh my gosh, this makes me happy. And then you try and you dabble some more, and you're like, this makes me really happy. And like all of a sudden, like this is where my life was supposed to go, and you're ecstatic. And then and then you graduate. You crack your egg and you graduate. I don't know where the allegory is going, but the metaphor is going. But you see what I'm saying, right? Like you go where your life takes you. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is like just be better. We got to be better to the people around us. And as counselors, like in the counseling classes, when we are encountering people who are questioning their identity at the earlier stages, all of the literature basically tells us, like, you're not supposed to affirm what they're doing, and you're not supposed to deconfirm. I don't know the opposite there. Like, you're not supposed to say, like, this is the right path for you, or you shouldn't be doing this, because it's not your choice. It's not the counselor's choice. The counselor's choice is to help the client find their path, what makes them happy and whole, wherever that takes them. And while people are questioning, it doesn't always lead to a transition. A questioning person, might go through a very long process and decide, actually, I'm not transgender. I have tried it out. I've seen, like, is this going to work for me? And I've decided, no, I'm happier where I am. And that's awesome. But our job is not to push them in one way or the other. Our job is to help them find that goal of comfort in their own body. And I think that that's a good process to have, not just as a counselor, but as a friend, of, not necessarily being like, I think this is the right choice for you, but if this is making you happy, I think that's the right choice for you. That kind of thing. It's a very big difference, because one is a push and the other is an affirmation. And the affirmation isn't on the choice, it's on the person. So anyway, that's my long-winded talk. It's based on something I read on Blue Sky, but basically, like, you just have to be patient, be kind to people, and the things that you affirm shouldn't be what makes you happy for someone else. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm so glad that you're transgender. That's not what you should be saying. You should be saying, I'm so glad that this is a choice that makes you happy. And I really think that that's something that we need to internalize. Everybody needs to internalize. Even the people that are questioning and going through these paths, like, they might feel pressure of having to make a choice, or expectations of the choice that they need to make because they are questioning. And the answer is no. The only expectations that you need to deal with are your own. And those expectations are, will this make me happy? Will this make me comfortable? Wherever that answer takes you. So yeah. Long-winded talk. I hope that something I said made sense here. And again, this is coming from someone, from a cisgender male who is taking master's program counseling courses. So I don't have the personal experience of the road that transgender people are on, and it's much better to get the side of the story about how that is from somebody who's gone through it. But from the other side of the table, this is what we're taught, and this is how I try to think. So yeah, just be good to people. Support the paths that people are going on. Be like, yeah, self-discovery is cool, and just take your time. It's not a race. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.